everybody? Douglas Blair Roberts, the Super Vader 400, and of course the brown skinned human coming back at you with another video game commentary review. And this time I'm reviewing I'm reviewing I'm reviewing the Killer Instinct video game franchise. The the last Killer Instinct 2013, since I'm having a hard time capturing the footage from that video game, and that will be a tie-in with the 2013 Killer Instinct comic book. But this right here is my first in a series of Killer Instinct video game playthroughs. Yes, I said video game playthroughs. I haven't done one of these in a long time because of computer space problems, and various computer problems and various problems. But personal problems such as my dog, who you can no longer see in the background right here. You can usually see him in the background sleeping on the bed. Yeah, he passed away August 7th, 2020. For those of you who didn't know, and that's where I've been for several weeks. But one of the things that's helped me cope with his passing was doing these type of video game playthrough reviews with you people. So I'm back, bringing this back. So with that being said, I apologize for the poor quality, and I also apologize for the lack of sound. My Xbox One does not have sound. I have to get a sound converter box or either a brand new television. I have a computer monitor down here that you'll be seeing. You'll see the intro for the Killer Instinct games. For 1 and 2, you'll see the intro, and then my review. So with that being said, let's get started right now. We can do whatever we want when we put our minds to it.
to end your IRS nightmare. Call Tax Relief 123 now at 800-616-8950 for free information. Since qualifying for the Fresh Start program is not automatic, Tax Relief 123 will connect you with a tax professional for a free consultation. Once you're accepted, the IRS must stop all harassing collection activity. Imagine no threatening phone calls, no wage garnishments or bank levies, and no more living in fear of the IRS. Call 800-616-8950 now to find out if you may qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program. Call Tax Relief 123 to speak with a tax professional for a free consultation at 800-616-8950. Call 800-616-8950.
There once was a man in a clinic.
Come on in, let me see.
The pets, they never did epic or brilliant. First thing, with the doctor's steady hand,
That's it.
the patients felt grand.
She looks so much better.
His practice was no place for a sinner. No place for a sinner. No place for a city. The Incredible Dr. Bull. New season Saturday, January 2nd at 9 on Nat Geo Wild.
everybody, it's time for my review of the second Killer Instinct game released in arcades in 1996 and later for the Nintendo 64 as Killer Instinct Gold, called Killer Instinct 2. This is the sequel to the 1994 iconic blockbuster. As you can see, I'm playing as Tusk and I'm fighting as Fulgore. Wanted to play as Jago again, but since I did Jago in the last video, and I forgot to complete this game before this review. I decided to play as Tusk, one of my favorite characters in the game besides Jago. I'm fighting the sub boss, which is the newly rebuilt Fulgore from the last game. Then I gotta fight Garganos, the cheapest boss, even worser than Idol from the first game, which I'm about to get to. Killer Instinct 2. Killer Instinct 2 was even bigger and badder than the first, even though they made a couple of changes from the first that I didn't like, such as some of Orchid's special maneuvers, and they got rid of the cool building stages from the first game, such as Orchid's building. They also got rid of Cinder's stage entirely, because Cinder isn't in this game, and they changed Spinal stage to a pirate ship, So that's what those are two changes I didn't like. But other than that, this game was bigger and badder than the first one. It looks better than the first one. The character skins in this game, Jago, he has two skins. During gameplay, he has a white jumpsuit. A white and red jumpsuit. And in the cutscenes, he has a light bluish green jumpsuit with black hair instead of brown hair, like in the first one. Yeah, Orchid in the cutscenes has her signature green tight skin tight short jumpsuit, but here she has a quote unquote black one and a red one as a palette swipe costume. Saberwolf, he has one of my favorite levels, one of my favorite fighting stages in the game. His castle, the character Saberwolf, his castle has been heavily redesigned. His fighting stage, Fulgore's fighting stage you see right now, and the main antagonist is Garganos, and Maya's and Jago's fighting stages are my all-time favorites, followed by combos and everyone else's. Jago's fighting stage is actually just a rehash, kind of just a rehash of the bridge, Chief Thunder's bridge from the first game, but it has this very cool, brutal stage fatality where if you perform an ultra and get him in the right direction, you get to knock the person off the bridge, sending them to a very watery grave. Then you got Maya's stage, which hers is the same. Hers is similar. Hers is a giant, tall building cliff, ancient building cliff stage. When you knock the character off using an ultra, they fall to a very windy volcanic looking grave. Then you got Garganos, the character I'm fighting right now. You got his fighting stage where if he beats you, he can knock you off, sending you to a fiery grave, sending you to a long, fiery, bottomless fall. But when you beat him, no matter what happens in the cutscene, he will fall into the lava, and yeah, and Gargano's already. I'm gonna get him out the way already. He's already the biggest thing I can't stand about this game. He's even worse and more cheaper than Idol was from the previous video game. In the previous um video game, not only does Idol um have an infinite number of combos and blocks all your moves, but this character right here not only has an infinite number of combos, but unless you finish him off with a combo or a special maneuver, he will not die. Even if he's at the last bit of his health, he will not die. In this game, I cannot defeat him with the characters of TJ Combo, Maya, and Kim Woo, who those characters right there are supposed to be, well, not Combo, well, yeah, Combo, Woo and Maya are supposed to be main characters. Maya and Woo are two of the characters who banish Garganos in ancient times. See, this is what I was talking about. I had him beat. I had him beat, and no matter what happens, he will not die unless you hit him with a special maneuver. But going back to what I was saying, those three characters, two of those characters, Maya and Kim Woo, in ancient times, banished, helped defeat and banish this character to the void, to the void. But somehow in this game, they are weaker versions of Jago and Orchid. Yeah, my favorite characters in this game are Jago, Glacius, Tusk, who those three I'm the best with, followed by Fulgore, and I barely beat Garganos with Black Orchid in this game. So yeah, yeah, those are my favorite characters in this quote unquote game, in this quote unquote um game. The cutscenes in this video game are the cutscenes are not only better visually but are even longer, longer. So like I said, graphically, this video game was even bigger and better. It's like I said, it's bigger and better than the first one, but it's not as iconic than it's not more iconic, but the first one's more iconic. More iconic, and most of the cool shock value is kind of gone in this video game. In this video game, favorite characters to play as, besides the four I just mentioned, are Combo, Wu, and Maya, along with the four I just mentioned, Jago, Tusk, Glacius, and Fulgore, and Orchid are my favorite characters to play. These are my favorite characters to play as in the game. And as far when it comes to fighting, I enjoy fighting everyone. I enjoy fighting everyone except Garganos. Like I said, when Killer Instinct created both these characters, especially Garganos, they created the most awesome back. They created the most awesome villains ever. Because I can't stand both of them. Not only are they cheap in gameplay, but Garganos in the canon in this game, he he manipulated. He revealed that he was posing as the Tiger Spirit and manipulated the events of this game, having Jago and Orchid defeat Idol and bring down Ultra Tech to set him free from Limbo. As such, he betrayed them and sent them all 200 years in the past. You got characters like Combo, who just fight, who this time is not looking for any prize money. He just wants to fight. He just fights to get home. You got Tusk, his new character Tusk, who he seeks honor and glory by defeating Garganos and every other fighter in the game who he is not friends with, such as Combo, Combo, Combo and Jago, who he's also, despite being a heroic character, he's neutral and is beefing with in this game. Then you got Maya, who was expelled, who when Garganos returned was expelled from her village, and now seeks redemption and admission back into her village. And the only way to do that is to defeat Garganos. Then you got Kid Wu, one of the guardians who banished Garganos in the past, alongside Maya and Tusk. Tusk, who seeks to defeat Garganos again. Then you got Orchid, who defeated the main antagonist of the previous game, Garganos' rival Idol, and his Idol's death sets, who created a time warp and sent these guys in the Ultratech building in 200 years into the past. Now Orchid has to defeat a new challenger in Garganos and Jago, who seeks vengeance against Garganos, and the Tiger Spirit has to not only fight Garganos but also fight the resurrected and rebuilt full Gore model from the first game. First game, Glacius. In this game, the original Glacius defeated defeated and killed Cinder to earn his freedom. This time, this is a Glacius 200 years in the past who received a distress signal from another Glacius, I think, another ice being, and now has come to rescue that being, and has got entangled with this. Glacius, his storyline in this game is kind of confusing. Yeah, so that's the awesome storyline of this game. Only other problem I have with this game, okay, I can understand not having it in the first one, but this game really should have had a story mode. This video game should have had a story mode, one player quest beat 'em up mode, because this one has the storyline for it. This one has the tournament ladder is fun, but it should have had a quest mode where you walk around and play as the heroes of the game and fight Garganos and his warriors and see what the characters did. Which brings to my next problem with the game. After this, Killer Instinct disappeared for about 19 years. They came back in 2013 with a brand new Killer Instinct with a brand new rebooted Killer Instinct game. And I felt not only was it too soon for Mortal Kombat to reboot, but it was darn sure too soon for these people to reboot, because you only made 2 games and called it quits. And they quit making Killer Instinct to focus on a bunch of games featuring talking animals like Banjo-Kazooie and the Donkey Kong Country sequel. Those games were awesome, but why can't you have both? That's more money. Why you gotta choose? Just like the Sega Genesis, the Sega people with Virtua Fighter and Eternal Champions. They canceled Eternal Champions. They felt it was preventing Virtua Fighter from being successful. First off, why can't you have both? And Eternal Champions was way better than Virtua Fighter. So yeah, Killer Instinct 2. What else about this game? Can't hear anything, but the soundtrack in this game is not as memorable as the first one, but it's just as good. Sometimes even better, but not as memorable as the first one. Not as memorable as the first one. The arcade track mode you saw, love the cutscenes. Like I said, the cutscenes here are even longer and more detailed than they were in the previous one. And just like its predecessor, it's not until you see the lack of voice acting, well, actually it has voice acting, but not a lot. The limited voice acting, and still limited cutscene frames that would actually be that Mortal Kombat would later reuse for its 3D trilogy. So yeah, this game introduced a lot of ideas that other genres like Mortal Kombat would use. Is when you can definitely tell this game is dated. But other than that, when it comes to graphics and gameplay, it can easily pass for what's called this game. Is my opinion. This and its sequel are still way better than the modern gameplay wise and storyline wise are way better than the modern day 2013 Killer Instinct, which that'll be next after this video is completed. Got him. Finally got him. See what I mean? How cheap he is. Yeah, and I had to do the flipping sword maneuver to defeat to beat him.
Kerchak, I didn't. I'm sorry. I asked you to protect our family. And you betrayed us all.
And that's his ending. Also, no, I can't believe I forgot this. I haven't done this, but if you perform a certain type of ultra, which is what the fatalities are called, on certain characters, you get different variations of the ending, including one where he
I'm so confused.
Tusk marries Maya and retires with her, and another where he leaves her behind. He leaves her behind. Jago, who I also play as, has an ending. Has the first ending where I think this is the canon one where he defeats full where he defeats Garganos, then battles and resurrected Fulgor, and is nearly killed by the models until he is backed up by his twin sister Orchid, and they finish off the Fulgor, the new Fulgor models. Then another one, if you perform an Ultra on Orchid, you get a different ending where he gets killed by the where he defeats Garganos but gets killed by Fulgor. So um yeah, characters like I said, Tusk is basically a barbarian knight Viking version of Jago. 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 He's every 80s action hero. He's the Thor, Thor, Conan, Lion-O, Thundar, and He-Man of Killer Instinct.
You always bring out the good in us. Pedigree brings out the good in them.
This new year, get the phones everyone wants on the 5G
Maya is pretty much an Amazonian version of Orchid. Is a female Amazonian. Well, both are females. Is a female Amazonian version of Orchid, and
with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
100% obsessed with the Mandalorian.
and
That's all my favorite shows.
And right now,
and what else? Oh yeah, and
this is 5G,
um
America's most reliable network.
oh yeah, Kim Woo is pretty much a female Asian version of Jago, a much weaker version. Well, this has been Killer Instinct, Killer Instinct 2000, Killer Instinct 2. You want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.